Pittsburgh Steelers fans, thanks for tapping in for another Wednesday night episode of the Pump Your Brakes podcast. I'm one of two right now. It's about to be a few more of us in the building. Wait and see who that is. They'll be with us shortly, directly. But right now, to the trip OG Shannon. Shannon, what's up, man? How you doing? I know it's been a tough week for you, but how you doing right now, man? We're glad you're here. You know, thinking about you. But go ahead and anything you want to say, man.
Yeah, it's been a rough week. We lost my father-in-law early Tuesday morning. He'd been in the hospital a few days, but it was still shocking. We wasn't expecting it, and but God is good, and um, I know that we will see him again. But it's been tough. Thank you for filling in for me on the hangover on Monday. And because I was supposed to be on 2 podcasts Monday, and obviously I wasn't able to. But I told you earlier today, this talking about the Steelers, and hopefully it will be therapeutic, and get our minds off everything else going on this week. You're still muted.
A big fine in myself, Shannon. But definitely, man, thinking about you, praying for you. Now you got your Steeler family out there also doing the same. So we just appreciate you. Glad you're here tonight. Thinking about your family. But yeah, this will be therapeutic, man. So let's go ahead and get ready to get into it, man. We got some different Steelers stuff to talk about. We're gonna talk about some of Omar Khan's comments yesterday. Gonna talk about some of the combine action and just whatever comes up. This is that time of season where content creators have to create content. So whatever Shannon and myself and the guys want to talk about, we're going to give you a good 45, 50 minutes of Steeler talk, live chat, jump in, ask your questions, and we'll just go from there. So be right back after this with the rest of our guests, and we'll see you guys on the other side. Thanks for tapping in to Pump Your Brakes podcast. We'll be right back after the intro. Southern flame burning deep inside. From the sticks to the slab, I survive with pride. Ain't no shame in my game, just plain eyes. Dirt road.
Let's go.
Steeler Nation, we are back on the Wednesday night Pump Your Brakes with 2 of our other Steel Kirk Network family members in the house. With us right now, we got the homie Jeremy Best in the building and my boy Daniel J. Fellas, what's happening, man?
Doing good, man.
Great.
Good to
Thanks
be here
for having
tonight.
us on.
Yeah,
Thanks
man,
for having
glad
us on.
to have you guys. Feel like, man, I was just with Daniel literally the other day. So, but yeah, man. So, man, let's get into the Steelers of it all, right? Omar Khan spoke yesterday at the Combine. The general managers always speak to their local media, then the national media directly after that and answer questions leading to the Combine about what's going on with their team so far through the offseason, stuff like that. Omar Khan said a few different things, and Daniel, I'll go to you first, man. What was something he said of interest to you?
Well, the one thing that kind of caught my attention was that he said that Jalen Ramsey is going to play for the Steelers in 2026. So I was excited about that. That's been a question mark, right? The safety position. Last year, there was a lot of turnaround there because of injury. Deshaun Elliott went down with a significant knee injury. I'm hoping that he can return. I think he will. It sounded like he was getting, geared up, ready to get back to practice towards the end of the season there. And had maybe the Steelers gone a little bit further, maybe they would have seen him on the field. But yeah, I want to see what they do with Jalen Ramsey. There's been some talk that the Steelers are looking at a safety in the draft. If they go that route, I'm excited to see what they're going to do with Jalen. Are they going to move him back as a guy that can move around in the slot position again or outside corner? Kind of what they wanted to do with him last year, with moving him around, or which I think they're going to have to, because he's going to get paid a pretty penny just to be a safety. That's also the other concern there. But I'm excited to have him back. I'm excited that he's going to be a part of the Steelers next year.
No, I like that, man. I think he's worth more to the Steelers to play for them than to cut him and still have to eat that cap, right?
Yeah.
I mean, regardless of what position he plays, because if they cut him, I think they'll still be $17 million in dead cap. Now, $19 million is a lot to pay a safety, but $17 million is a lot not to get no production. So, I kind of like Jalen Ramsey. I'd like to see the Steelers draft a young safety, and maybe Jalen Ramsey can play what we thought he could play. I don't think outside corner every down is his thing, but big nickel, I like that. Him in the regular nickel position. Betts, anything, and we'll come back to it. Betts, anything Omar Khan said that caught your attention? We'll go around the horn, then we're going to have a discussion about everything.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, so what caught my attention, and I do have some Ramsey thoughts, so I do want to get back to that, but what caught my attention is basically that every NFL personality, when you're talking about the front office guys, the head coaches, all that stuff, they're non-committal for a reason, right? They've got so many options on the table for themselves, but Omar Khan might be the most non-committal human being in a front office position in the league, because this guy says a lot of words, and basically all it is just saying what we already know. The Will Howard conversation, the Aaron Rodgers conversation, the quarterback conundrum that the Steelers find themselves in. Very non-committal from Omar Khan on all of that, other than saying, yeah, if Aaron Rodgers wants to come back, we'd like to have him back. Yeah, Will Howard has a bright future. All the things that we have already come to understand that the Steelers organization thinks. That is what we got from him again. So no clear direction in that regard. And I think Steelers fans are ready for a clear direction.
Yeah, he said it. He said a whole lot and not a whole lot of anything. So I
Yeah.
agree. We'll get into it. Shannon, he said anything that interests you? Did you even get to hear it? I mean,
I was going to say something similar to Jeremy. He learned at the Mike Tomlin School of say a lot to reveal nothing. I was like Patrick Queen, they're.
Yeah.
I mean, are we going to look at a restructure? Are we going to release? You're going to bring him back? Jalen Ramsey again. We know Patrick Queen. Oh goodness. Patrick Graham likes to have that versatile safety that can play kind of in the box and cover out of the slot, and has that versatility. You think Ramsey would be perfect for his defense, the way that Graham has run it in the past. I was shocked he didn't mention TJ at all. To me, that's the albatross. That's the contract that something's going to have to happen, because if the trajectory of last year continues this year, the Steelers are drastically overpaying, and they can't afford to do that as they're trying to rebuild this roster so they can plug in their next quarterback. So to me, I guess I was most surprised in the lack of commitment to anything. It was a lot of, beating around the bush and leaving every option open, and, including Aaron Rodgers. And I just, I'd like to have more clear direction at this point, because you've made changes for a reason. Now, I do believe that Tomlin was ready to step away and take a break. But again, this is an opportunity to reevaluate and restructure this roster as you do the coaching staff. And I hope that's what they're committed to doing. But if you bring Rodgers back, it sounds like more of a reload again and run it back, and I'm not interested.
okay. So, Betts, I'll go back to you. You want to comment on some Ramsey stuff. Go ahead and whatever you want to say about that.
Yeah, I think that keeping him in the plans is a great idea. And to kind of go back to what you were saying about drafting a young safety, what if they added another Ramsey to the room? Kamari Ramsey is a guy that I've got my eye on as a versatile ball hawking, big hitting type safety who can also get down in the nickel. So there's options out there. And I mean, my draft crush right now is Emmanuel McNeil Warren. If the Steelers took him in the first round, I think that would be a slam dunk pick. So what going back to Ramsey himself, like if you cut Jalen Ramsey, yeah, you're going to save money. You're also going to have some dead cap hit, like you said, but that money that you save, you're just going to be using it to go out and get another Jalen Ramsey. So keep the guy on the roster, pay the bill that you've kind of put yourself in position to have to pay. And
hard to find anybody with that kind of versatility, though.
Correct. Yes, exactly.
For that price range, I mean,
correct. Yeah. So like, what are you going to do? You're going to spend that money on two players to try to fill both roles, or give yourself depth at two different spots when you could just keep Ramsey on the roster? And I mean, you got to be smart. You can't ask him to do the lockdown outside corner stuff that he used to be. But if you put him in the right spot, I think he can definitely be an asset for a defense that is it's going to look different without Mike Tomlin there. I mean, it's just going to look different.
And he's kind of like a bridge safety.
Sure.
To help, because we all expect them to draft somebody in the first 3 rounds. I mean, the safety position is too important right now, and they need it because Elliott's coming off injury and he's not any younger. So, I think that they need those guys to help bridge the gap.
I like McNeil Warren out of Toledo. Yep. I do like him a lot. If you move up in the second to get him, I wouldn't be mad because I think he's probably a day one starter at the free safety. And I also like Bud Clark, maybe a little later out of TCU, safety out of TCU. I know Kamari Ramsey plays at USC.
Yep. Yeah. I got a couple USC guys I like in this draft class. Steelers could go. I guess they're Big Ten now, right?
They are Big 10.
So they could go Big Ten USC, right? The USC route, and I'd be happy with Mekhi Lemon, Kamari Ramsey, those types of guys that sound good as Steelers potentially.
I like the guy to be later, but linebacker, and his number 18, forgot his name. He's like 6'5". He's kind of really versatile for USC. He's number 18. I can't remember his name, but big linebacker.
Yeah.
The only thing about Lemon is, I hear him compared to Ward. And, Ward's one of my all-time faves. But Ward was, 3rd round? Because he was the utility all-around guy in college. And then he became a perfect fit for the city and everything. And Lemon plays a lot like that. I just don't know if it would be worth putting that on him that early, because there's a big boom possibility, but there's also him being just average possibility. I don't think he has a terrible floor, but I think that there's a good possibility he's going to end up being average.
I've heard him compared to Hines Ward, and Dan, I'm gonna come to you with whatever you want to say about anything we said in the past 3 minutes. But I like the comp of him to Amon-Ra St. Brown for Detroit. I think he
I can see that. I can see that.
I think he has good hands. I think he'll catch crossers and good after the catch, getting yak yards and stuff.
Stronger than his size would suggest.
Yeah. So that's the comp I kind of see. Daniel, anything we said you want to comment or anything you want to add to the conversation?
Well, I mean, I'm not too familiar with like the college ranks and stuff. I was looking at a lot of the quarterbacks throughout the year because I anticipated the Steelers being, in that. Even my wife would tell you, it's like,
why would you consider that?
That's what I did. I did that the
He's
entire.
afraid Rodgers would pass away or something. He was so old.
I was like, throughout the entire year, I thought, hey, the Steelers are going to be drafting a quarterback this year. So I kind of watched the quarterbacks throughout the year and got somewhat disappointed. I'll be honest with you guys. I thought that Archie Manning was going to be a guy. I thought maybe perhaps Drew Aller and some of these other guys and Nussmeier and now I'm back and I would watch him. I'm like, man, I'm really not liking what I'm seeing. And then sure enough, a lot of these guys start dropping out, not deciding to go in. And so it's really put me behind the 8 ball when it comes to like some of the other positions. But one of the things that I have noticed is that there are some formal and informal meetings at the combine that the Steelers have made with certain players. And I noticed that that's been kind of defensive line heavy. you have Daryl Jackson out of Florida State, Lee Hunter, Texas Tech, Caden McDonald, Ohio State, and Rayshawn Benny out of Michigan that have had some sort of communication with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I believe one of them, I can't remember which one, actually was at the Steelers-Ravens final game of the season.
That's the Ohio State kid.
Caden McDonald. Yeah.
Yeah. And so,
wait.
I know that, Cam's kind of getting old in the tooth. I think he's going to come back for one more year. But, last year, if, Harmon was off the field, teams were just gouging the Steelers through the run. So they need another option there. I know that Wyatt Black, he's got some potential, but I think he's still pretty raw. So if they can bring in a guy like McDonald from Ohio State, I'd be excited about that. And I think that's maybe a glimpse of where they're going, in my opinion, is the defensive line in the first round again.
Hey, Daniel, one thing about it is they're looking at a lot of defensive guys right now, partly because that's who's at the combine. But also, that's where they got all their money. Mm-hmm. And if you're going to, shed some of this payroll, like I wish they would, whether it's real restructures, releases, trades, whatever, you're going to have to replace that. So that might be why they're talking to all these young men.
Yeah.
Well, I think part of that is the defensive tackles were available for interview today too. We'll see other players and other positions get interviewed also.
That's true.
I like K McDonald a lot, and I might even go that direction. If one of the top 4 receivers is there, I gotta have it. When I say top 4, that's Tate, that's Lemon, that's Tyson, and that's Boston. One of those 4 guys there, I can't put off receiver any longer. You're forcing me to put off quarterback because the class is so crappy, and we're going to wait on a 42-year-old guy.
Reach. Yeah.
Right. Don't want to reach. So I like the receiver. If one of the top 2 corners are there, I could go that way. But if none of those 6 players are there, top 2 corners, top 4 receivers, I go Caden McDonald or I go offensive line. My thoughts. Daniel?
Tate,
or Jeremy? Go ahead.
Yeah, let me hop in. I was going to say, you got 5 picks in the first 3 rounds here.
Yeah.
You could use 2 of those on wide receivers, and I would be totally fine with that. You could use one of those 3rd-round picks to package with your 1st-round pick to move up and make sure you get the wide receiver of your choice that fits the style that you want on your offense. You could do that, and you could still have 4 picks in the first 2 days. And
hey, Jeremy.
The great thing, they've got so many options this year.
Yeah.
Jeremy, which receiver, let's say the 4 that Tate mentioned, do you think fits what McCarthy wants to do when you have Metcalf on the outside?
Yeah.
On the across from, I mean, I think, whether it's Lemon or Tate, you need a guy who's a strong route runner, gets consistent separation, and can be that 3rd down hands guy.
Yeah.
He can be more than that, develop into more than that, but that's what they need as a rookie.
So I think you get the chain mover guy later in the draft. That's your double dip. Mm-hmm. But the guy that I want, if I'm the Steelers, that can do the most for me day 1 is Jordan Tyson. He's got the fluidity of an all-star and just moves different when you watch him play. There are some things he's obviously going to need to work on, like any rookie. I think sometimes he can have the concentration drop issues. But when you're looking at a guy who profiles as your typical, I can do it all, I can dictate to the defense type receiver, to me, that guy is Jordan Tyson in the range that I think that the Steelers are going to be able to trade up into.
Yeah, I like Jordan Tyson too, and I tell you what, the comp to him is CeeDee Lamb. Mike McCarthy drafted CeeDee Lamb. So he's 6'2", 200. He comes from an athletic background. His brother's Jalen Tyson played for the Cleveland Cavaliers, my basketball team. Looking at that's why I keep looking up.
Okay.
But yeah, no. So I would take him over Lemon. I mean, I don't think we get Tate, and I think Lemon will go early too. But you'd have to trade up further, I believe, because he's not running at the combine. Tyson's not for hamstring reasons. But these guys, when they don't run at the combine, they still get their pro day and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The chain mover guys like Omar Cooper Jr. Like if you decided, hey, I want as many picks as I can get in the first 2 days, and then I'm going to trade away my day 3 picks or work around my day 3 picks to move up and whatever. And you want to trade back and you want to land a guy like Omar Cooper Jr. from Indiana. That, you know, that's a guy, super intriguing, big body type. If you want a basketball team on the field, if you want to roll out the Cavaliers on the football field, go get yourself some Kevin Coleman Jr., or Malachi Fields, something like that.
Right.
No,
I agree. And for those that are not familiar with Cooper, he's the one that caught Fernando Mendoza's game-winning catch against Penn State. That'll take you there.
That dude is a baller. My undersized guy in this draft is Zachariah Branch from Georgia. He's the D'Angelo Pons of the offense to me. He's got so much tenacity. He's got that dog in him, and he's a Georgia Bulldog. The Steelers have dipped into that well a few times recently. Give me that type of receiver on my team any day. I'll take it.
Shannon? Are you talking, Shannon? You'll get a big fine if you were.
I was. I said Juice has a super chat on there.
Thanks, Juice. Thanks for letting me know, Shannon, because I didn't have my comment screen up. Thanks for the $1.99, Juice. We certainly appreciate you, bro. You was just
perfect.
Smash the gas. Tyson is perfect and learn from Hines. That part, that too. I actually did a draft profile thing on the KnoItAllz about Jordan Tyson. And the quarterback that nobody's talking about that I love in the 3rd or 4th round is Cade Klubnik. Why is nobody talking about him? What do you guys think? Daniel, did you study Cade Klubnik? You got any thoughts on him?
Yes. It wasn't.
Nobody likes Cade. You guys wait till the combine this week.
I wasn't impressed. Outside of Mendoza, I wasn't impressed with any of the quarterbacks this year. I was watching a lot of these guys and very inaccurate, and maybe perhaps they can get coached up and stuff like that. But, out of the quarterbacks that are coming out that the Steelers could have an opportunity at, I mean, throw a flyer on Drew Aller in maybe the 4th or the 5th round. I think I'd be comfortable with that.
I don't
He's got the physicality and athletics.
Yeah. And I think that's the upside over Cade Klubnik. I think Cade Klubnik is better trait-wise than Drew Aller, but you can't teach 6'5", 235 in athleticism. You can't teach that. So,
but both of them guys did not have the supporting cast they'd had in the past.
You're right about that.
I see your Cade Klubnik, and I raise you a Cole Payton from North Dakota State. Go watch the tape of Cole Payton. That guy is just looking at the measurables right off the bat, 6'3", 230, dual threat quarterback. I think he's going to come out and run this week at the combine, and I wouldn't be surprised if he cracks 4.6, 4.5, something in that range. He's gonna move, and the arm talent is there. He's an upside play, and the Steelers have dipped into
where in the draft.
I would say he's probably a traits play in the 5th or 6th round. And
he's a developmental,
Yeah.
If you have to put time in, don't know what his ceiling would be, but
well, Trey Lance went 3rd overall, and this guy shows a lot of Trey Lance type traits, just without the multi-year starter experience that Trey Lance had at North Dakota State. So,
and Trey wasn't even close to ready.
Correct. And Trey wasn't as big either as Cole Payton is. Trey was shorter. So, Cole Payton to me is a guy that, you're not going to draft a quarterback early to Daniel's point, because the class has kind of fallen off the cliff here. But, the Steelers have a Nussmeier on staff. I think his dad is on their staff. Or maybe he was on staff with Mike McCarthy at Dallas. I can't remember what the connection is now.
Previously on staff. I don't know if they do have a connection. He has coached with Doug Nussmeier.
Nussmeier's arm is really incredible. It's everything else that you've got to worry about with him. The size concerns, and then
I see
happy feet in the pocket. Yeah,
Yeah, they're
feet in the
comparing
pocket.
his arm to Josh Allen, if that tells you anything.
That boy can sling it. It's
Yeah.
crazy. There's a few quarterbacks out there that you just like, it just jumps off the hand, and he's one of them. But he's got to figure out a lot of other things. But I wouldn't hate taking a dig at him too. So
Back to you, Daniel. Anything before we take our first break?
No, I think you guys covered everything there.
Shannon?
No, like I said, there isn't a lot to cover with the quarterbacks right now. I'm hoping that the combine's going to renew some interest, but right now, I think we got it covered.
my last statement on the quarterbacks, I'm all in on Malik Willis. I don't care what you got to pay him. If it's $30 million a year, I'd sign up for that right now. 3 years, $30 million a year. Give him the Baker contract from 2024. That's kind of what I've been saying. And this is free agency, obviously. This isn't in the draft. And then, I would go that route over bringing Rodgers back. And then if it doesn't look good this year with him, $30 million a year for a quarterback, if he becomes the guy that the upside shows he could be, that's an absolute steal, an absolute bargain. It's half price off of the best quarterbacks in football, those contracts that they're getting.
You got them locked up too.
Yeah, and that's going to go up too.
Dak's getting 60. Lamar Jackson might get close to 70 when his contract's done.
Man, especially if somehow he hits the open market. If somehow he hits the open market or there's a trade, that guy's contract's gonna blow everything out of the water. So I would pay that in a heartbeat for a guy with the upside that he shows. And if you need to get out of it after 2 years, you can get out of it after 2 years. You can still draft a guy in the first round next year, no matter how Willis looks after year one, and see what happens. You can't have too many good quarterbacks on the roster. You just can't do it.
2 quick comments. You have been tainted and influenced by a guy we love named Andrew. With your love affair here with Willis. 2,
this is more recent though.
Okay, Willis has a very small sample size,
very small
of NFL success with a offensive-minded coach, which the Steelers hopefully have one now.
Now they got it
with a receiver core that went 5 deep. Especially when you consider Kraft.
We'll be 5 deep next year.
Well, we hope the Steelers can do that. Yes, we need to.
Will they?
And it was an established offense that fit his skill set. I don't know how he would fit in with what I know. McCarthy has a history, and the guys he's brought in, of making the system match their talent instead of force feeding a square peg in a round hole. I understand, but that's the only reason I'm a little leery about going 30 mil is the short sample size, and we don't know yet. And we won't know at the time when you have to sign him what kind of receiver core they're actually going to have.
I just think that we have to change our thought process on how much money $30 million is for a quarterback. It's just not that much anymore. So if he's asking 30,
I was going to say, and I was going to agree with Jeremy. I've been with that. I was saying 2 for $50. That third year, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's a team option for the third year, but yeah, I'd go as high as 2 for $60, which I guess I could go 3 for $90 if I get a team option, because then you're only paying him for the third year if he's playing well. Because if you get him and you see what it looks like next year, he doesn't play well. Damn, I got $30 million backup, but I got to draft a guy in a quarterback-rich draft next season. Then you get your guy. Then you're coming off that $30 million after their rookie year, and I think that's why you got to. Ideally, I would let Malik Willis, Romeo Doubs in free agency. I draft Tyson and another receiver. Now I got DK Metcalf. I believe McCarthy can get somebody. Roman Wilson. I got Romeo Doubs. I got Tyson. I got Skoranek, and we'll find another guy. So you have your receivers, Freiermuth in Washington, and we know we got running back. So I like what that looks like. And it sounds like a lot because, like Shannon said, small sample size, but you got to start taking shots. We're always going to end up with Mitch Trubisky. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We don't want to overdraft the quarterback this year. And from what I hear, we really don't want Rodgers back. So what do we
I would rather do Willis than Rodgers. And then roll into next draft, get your guy, or a potential franchise guy, and then use Willis at a reasonable contract as trade.
I'm a crazy human being, Shannon, and I would rather have Anthony Richardson as my starting quarterback in 2026 than Aaron Rodgers. Because the ceiling and the floor are this for Aaron Rodgers. The ceiling and the floor might be this for Richardson, but at least there's something there, right?
Well, Richardson, his floor is working at Target. I don't know if he has it between the ears, because I'm not seeing him develop at all.
And if he hits that floor, then you get your guy next year. But if
I'm with Jeremy, because you probably can get Richardson for one of those fourth or fifths. You can get him for that. And you know what the upside is? The ceiling is unlimited. Now, the floor is low. I agree. We agree with that. But for a fourth or fifth, I see what it looks like for 1 year.
But there is not the same pressure to come in to play quarterback in Indianapolis as there is in Pittsburgh. And I don't think he handled the situation or his development well at all. You come to Pittsburgh, everybody's going to think, oh, look at that athleticism. He'll throw a rocket in preseason, and then can he develop it and not wilt under the pressure? It's like trying to play quarterback in Cleveland. It's hard.
My expectations are tempered. I believe he has a talent. I believe we shouldn't expect too much. I don't believe he'd be the starter. I believe you bring him in, have him in your room to see what it looks like, Mm-hmm. But to compete with Will Howard or another guy. But we're going to take our first break. We're going to get out of here. And we'll be right back. If you're watching on YouTube, stay with us. We're not going anywhere. If you're listening on an audio platform, wherever you're listening, we have to hear a few words from our partners and advertisers. And we'll be right back after this on the Pump Your Brakes podcast. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And we're back on Wednesday's Pump Your Brake podcast. And for the rest of the show, I'm going to switch it over to Daniel. And Daniel, you can go ahead and announce what we got going on here, man. And we'll just take it from there and have the rest of our discussion.
Wait, what? You're going to switch it over to me for what?
I meant Jeremy. I moved Jeremy today. Man, I'm not used to four people. I'm all confused.
Daniel's like, don't do me like that.
My bad. Yeah, I meant Jeremy. That's why I put Jeremy in the driver's seat.
Well, first of all, I got to say the comment section is absolutely fire after the Anthony Richardson comment. So if you want more of that, you're going to get it here soon, because the Bets is coming to Wednesday nights, and Shannon and I are going to take over on Wednesdays. We're workshopping a new show title. We're trying to figure out how to coordinate this for the off season, but I'm super excited about this. Shannon, we've done several podcasts together, mostly on like the Q&A, and I've always had a lot of fun with you. I think we have good chemistry. We have some differing opinions, but we agree some as well. So there's going to be some fun talk there. Very laid back, midweek type style, I'm sure, is kind of what we'll go with, and you'll keep getting some of the same type of stuff, but stick with it. Steel Curtain Network, this Wednesday nights are going to be fire, as they have been. And I know Tate's got some stuff that is coming up for him as well, and some of the moves, and I don't know all that side of things yet, so I'll let him talk about that, but I'm excited for moving forward on Wednesday nights with you, Shannon, and hopefully the listeners are excited as well, because we're going to have a lot of fun discussions over the coming weeks and months.
Yeah, we, they approached us about the changes, and we, with Big G, he has his foot in every puddle right at this moment. He's got so many podcasts and so many things he's doing, and I'm happy for him and supporting him. I know we all are. It's the great thing is the Steel Curtain Network and the KnoItAllz community is like the same. Well, it's so many of the same community members, because we're a part of both and we love everyone. And but Big G's got his stuff going, so we can always still catch him and see him, and I'm sure he'll drop by from time to time. But they wanted to shake things up a little bit, and so on Mondays, the Steelers hangover, it's going to be me and Daniel and Tate. Because I said, I got to work with my guys. And they said, well, can you do a show with Jeremy? And I said, oh, we've done the Q&A multiple times and with great support and from the community. And I said, yeah, we can definitely do something. So we're working on all that, getting those details ironed out. But I'm excited. Always trying to keep it fresh and you know, because with me, first comes to my podcast partners, because you guys are like family to me. We're not just friends and brothers of Christ, but we're family. And next is the community. And those are the things that take precedent, I know, to all of us. And so I'm looking forward to it. When everybody said they was on board, I said, hey, that's awesome. And we're going to rock it. And I just look forward to getting through this off season, because there's so many changes and there's going to be something to talk about, you know, continuously through the whole off season.
Yeah. I mean, free agency tampering is in 2 weeks. If that, I think like 10 days or something along those lines. So
yeah.
March 9th. So it's going to fly, and we're going to have so much to talk about so quickly. And, you know, it'll be fun. You know, it'll be fantastic and full of lots of fun takes. And I promise to the chat that I'm not on anything. My red Solo cup over there has only got water in it. I promise you. So it's all just up here, the crazy takes. And so yeah, but come back for more.
And one thing about it, Daniel already started with our new look, because it looks like he trimmed up there, and I mean, it just looks fresh and clean and ready for the everything new.
New me.
You do.
And Daniel, you got to tell everybody that's not your real man cave, right? If it is, I need to come by.
We'll just let everybody think that it is. We'll just keep it at that. Keep it a mystery. Just like the Immaculate Reception.
I'll just add to that I'm not getting rid of my beard. I need it. Otherwise, I have little cute chubby cheeks. But yeah, I'm looking forward to joining Shannon and Daniel on the Hangover once a week. You know, just to go over there and try and fit in what those guys are doing. How it was kind of explained to me is that I can bring a different perspective to that. We'll still be
fresh perspective.
Yeah. Doing everything we're doing on KnoItAllz channel. We'll still be doing Smash the Gas. We may pump your brakes back up at some point. So, you know, you'll still see me. I'll still be with Mondays, Monday and Friday now instead of Wednesday and Friday. So, you know, you still see me on the Steel Curtain Network. You see me on the KnoItAllz doing what we do over there. And, you know, I've been with Steel Curtain Network for this season. It'll be going into, I believe, my 5th season. So, been around for a minute. You know, Shannon and I start working together when Jeffrey Benedict left. Mm-hmm. I and Big G started, and Big G and I were doing something before. It's been so long I can't remember stuff. You know, I've been on the Q&A with Best too. So I've been with Daniel on the Hangover, Shannon on the Hangover. So we've all worked together. We all have, you know, a good relationship with each other. So, you know, just shaking some things up, changing some things up. I'm Alex Highsmith. I'm on the trade block. I've been trading from Wednesdays to Mondays. So I'm looking forward to it, man. Anything you want to add to it, Daniel?
Just looking forward to the content. I think you bring a great insight to the show. And so you and I, you filled in for Shannon a couple of times. So you and I have worked together, and I think it's been great. And so I'm looking forward to Monday night and having you on and getting, you know, Steeler content out, man. It's just, when you're talking about the Steelers, it's with friends and family, it's the best. So looking forward to it, my man.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Amen.
All right, so man, it's open discussion now. Anybody got anything they want to ask, any questions? That's live chat, and the guys here. Let's go ahead and enjoy this last 15 minutes.
You know, I wanted to add something about the Anthony Richardson thing. You know, I would be afraid if he hit the floor or the ceiling, because he'd be probably getting hurt if he did either or. The guy can't stay on the field. That's my biggest problem with him.
Yeah.
You know, is it possible that, you know, he has some upside? Can he be coached up? Yeah, sure. But can you stay on the field? He couldn't do it in Indianapolis. I think it'd be more difficult in Pittsburgh in the elements and the cold, especially when the season gets long. So I'm not. I mean, I would, if he ended up being on the team, I'd root for him and I'd hope to do well. But that's not an avenue that I would traverse down.
What you said, we know the whole. I'm tired, and people, you do something like that. I remember Jay Cutler took himself out of a playoff game, and because he said his ribs was hurting, and there wasn't any broke ribs or anything. We've seen guys play with broke ribs and broke leg, in the Super Bowl, Jack Young. But you guys are legendary for being tough. If you become a legend for being soft, you're done.
Now, I will say that my take does not come without major risks.
High risk.
Major issues. But dude's 23 years old and was 4th overall draft pick, and the upside has always been there. And let's come at it from the perspective that, like, I'm just tired of, Shannon used the phrase, running it back at the beginning of the show. I'm so tired of running it back with the same, like, going nowhere fast, but not going to tank your season quarterback. And like, I was on board with getting Rodgers last year because I was like, okay, the Jets tenure was bad, but there was an injury there. And maybe there's something left in that tank that you can tap into. But the Steelers tapped all they could out of that tank. He played all but one game last year, and the result was no different. So I'm ready to move on from that one. And I'm ready to say, I know the draft class isn't good, but if we can swing at some upside or some downside here, if the downside hits, you're just in better position to draft your guy next year. And if the upside hits, then what have you got to lose? So that's just my take on it.
I'll say, as far as Aaron Rodgers this past year, I think he was deficient of weapons. So I'll add something.
Sure.
He could have been better. I think he played well. I think he played better than any quarterback we had since Ben left. Definitely.
Sure.
As far as Anthony Richardson, again, we were saying, and I didn't think he played enough at Florida, but he only played 15 games at Florida, so I think he was overdrafted. But I think the talent is there. And I also think, though, right, that we talked real bad when Sam Darnold was a Jet, when Baker Mayfield was a Brown. We talked real bad about Mac Jones when he stood up there in New England. Now, you talking about trading for him. You know what I mean? We probably should have drafted Malik Willis. Now we talking about paying him $30 million a year. So there are always these quarterbacks that slip through the cracks if the right teams, coaches, get their hands on them. McCarthy's supposed to be a quarterback whisperer kind of coach. So, Dak Prescott was a 4th-round draft pick, drafted to pick 125. He had his best season under Mike McCarthy, which is why I feel comfortable with Malik Willis also. I think McCarthy can bring another level out of this guy. Now, do I expect if they between the two, I would prefer Willis, but would I take an upside risk, a 4th or 5th-round pick to trade for him on Richardson? I would, and at the worst, I'm out of a 4th or 5th-round pick.
Yeah.
One thing about it, Willis is a high-character young man. Nobody's ever questioned his character. Richardson,
but besides him tapping out, what have you heard about his character?
Well, I mean, work ethic.
I haven't heard anything bad about the kid. Nothing.
I've heard work ethic and not wanting to put in the extra. And see, here's the thing: you can measure all the stuff at the combine, but you can't measure heart. You can't measure desire and intensity and commitment. And those things show up. And I believe that McCarthy can coach a guy up, and we know he has athleticism. It's the intangibles that I would be concerned about.
I don't see any leadership qualities with Richardson either.
None.
I guess I see a 22-year-old kid who needs to grow up, and maybe he can do it under McCarthy. I don't know.
Everybody said the same thing about Pickens.
Everybody said the same thing about Big Ben. Everybody said the same thing about Big Ben.
He had the big year. Statistically, Dallas didn't win squat. It didn't matter. And now he's, I don't know. They're trying to figure out what they're going to do with him. But I don't think it was a big deal. I mean, they needed a receiver last year, but if they had him, it would have just been more drama.
Yeah.
Because their offense still sucked. Dallas already had a good offense.
So to anyone saying I would never go the Anthony Richardson route, I would ask you this: like, if that's because I'm seeing in the comments he's not accurate, the issues, tapping out for a play or whatever. Like, what are you hoping the Steelers are going to get this year? Like, there are no franchise guys just sitting out there that the Steelers are going to get unless they take a swing. And those swings are, to me, Malik Willis, maybe Mac Jones, if you want to trade for somebody like that, that a team doesn't seem like they want to get rid of and has, a history of, or a complicated history in the NFL already as well. But if you're going the retread route, those are your three guys to me. It's Willis, it's Richardson, or it's a guy like Mac Jones. And the upside with all of those guys, to me, gives me enough of the juice behind making the move to where I'm like, you're not going to go get Joe Burrow. You're not going to go get CJ Stroud. Those guys are off the table, it sounds like. Those guys aren't sitting out there. So you got to take a swing somewhere. And I'm tired of the swing being a double. I want to go for a home run or a strikeout. That's how I feel right now. And that influences my decision-making thought process on that, even though I know the Steelers do not share my vision at all from that perspective.
Well, you said, Richardson, not interested. Mac Jones is mid. I mean, he's mid. He's career backup. I don't see
noodle arm. He's
I don't see him. I don't see him as an upgrade at all. I mean, I'd rather roll with Will Howard, and even if he is a 6th round guy,
over Mac Jones,
and see what because if because I don't think this year, regardless of who they get, this is not a contending team.
Yeah, Will Howard makes sense from that perspective too. The high ceiling potentially, maybe, we don't really know, but the low floor, I don't care, but I just don't want mid again.
No, I agree.
So,
I agree. Yeah.
I don't want to make a play for mid, I guess. If you roll with Will Howard and he ends up being mid, then
you're not out nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
You made a play for something, but you didn't go out of your way to get the mid guy. You didn't I go back and watch the film and I'm like, Aaron Rodgers had a good season, but if you're talking championships, then Aaron Rodgers should not be the first name out of your mouth. Because that upside to me isn't there. And the Steelers are always talking championships, and the first name out of their mouth this offseason has been Aaron Rodgers this, Aaron Rodgers that. And to me, that just is non sequitur. It doesn't make sense. Yeah.
That's the problem. Yeah.
No, I definitely agree with what both of you guys said. I'd even be interested in, because like you said, it's throwing darts, and until you hit on something. Bring Trey Lance in again for a 5th round pick. Let me see what it looks like.
Trade for JJ McCarthy.
Hey, I like Zach Wilson. I like Will Levis. Like all these young guys that didn't make
I'll take McCarthy over them other guys.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson, Will Levis, but McCarthy, you're gonna give up something. You give up a 2nd round pick.
Well, it sounds like they're giving up on him.
Will Levis.
Yeah, I like Will Levis. I just said
throw darts.
Or Zach Wilson. I mean, guys that are talented, that haven't had the right system, the right coach, the right fit. I don't need to see Tua. I don't need to see Kirk Cousins, or there was talk today about Andy Dalton. I don't want to see none of those guys.
Is he not retired yet?
No, he's not.
Daniel.
And they.
Who do you think? Is there any crazy name you want to throw in here?
Craig, got to be a crazy one.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, I just think that, it's probably going to end up being Rodgers.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's going to end up being. It's going to end up going back to Rodgers, but I want to get y'all's opinion. If it ends up being Rodgers, Trubisky, Kenny Pickett's going to be, he's also a free agent. He's a free agent.
That is the craziest.
Yeah, that would be the
craziest. They'll sign Pickett, Daniel, and give him $30 million instead
maybe.
of Willis.
They might.
Pickett wouldn't come back to Pittsburgh if they paid him $20 million. I don't think.
Well, Tomlin's
but
gone,
even-
and I think
Yeah,
that
that's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
so. But you
And,
know,
and
I think
Russell Wilson is gone. Let's not forget about that.
that's true. You know, if it is Rodgers, how do you think that's going to work with a new receiver if they draft one high? Rodgers and new receivers haven't really
Yeah.
They
meshed.
don't like young guys. Yeah.
That's the other thing. Rodgers is going to be like, no, give me Thielen.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree with that too.
Give me somebody that's
Is Randall Cobb retired yet?
officially.
Bring Jordy Nelson back, maybe
Yeah.
out of retirement. But yeah, that's a thing, Daniel, because he doesn't typically work well with young guys because he's such a precise, thinker and passer and stuff. He expects everything just to be on schedule. Whether you're first read, second read, third read, it's all timing. You might not be the first read, but I need you to hit that third read break when you're supposed to hit it. Don't hit it too early because I need you to be when check 1, check 2, check 3. That's when I need you to be there. Don't be there when I'm on my check 2. Get your timing down. And rookies and young receivers have problems with that. He needs guys. That's why he always wants his guys, right? He's always wanted guys that he's worked with in the past, has that familiarity with and stuff like that. So that could potentially be a problem, Daniel, because I really feel like it's going to be Aaron Rodgers is going to be our quarterback next year. That's just what I feel like.
And he's not. He don't develop wide receivers.
Yeah. So, any final thoughts? We're going to go ahead and get out of here.
All done for me. Talked out.
It was great talking to you guys. Thank you for having me on.
Definitely was. Pump your brakes, fans out there, man. Thanks for rocking with us over the past few years. And like I said, personality-wise, we're not going nowhere. We'll still be around. Pump your brakes. Like I said, we may revisit that later. Everything stays the same. Jeremy and Shannon will have a new show on Wednesdays. I'll be joining Daniel and Shannon on Mondays. Still be with the homies on Fridays. And we still have everything that we're doing over on KnoItAllz. And Shannon will be participating with us on some stuff over there too. So looking forward to the future as the offseason really starts to get into the thick of it. Start with the combine and then the draft. And then we'll know a lot more. But, looking forward to the 2026 season, no matter who the quarterback is for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Heck yeah.
And with that being said, everybody, see you next time. We're out. Peace.
Raising a